Are you ready?
Starting now?
Now you just messed it up, you knob. God, you know that the shit that we go through for this, huh?
I know. Fuckers better appreciate it. When we started, we were just like, yeah, we're just going to do this, man. You know, shoot our wad into the wind and see what happens. What's the title of this podcast again?
I don't know. I don't know. Something with a penis, I guess.
Right.
Our fucking faces are everywhere now.
Right.
You know, but
You're welcome, ladies.
Right. Popular with the ladies. Right. Oh, I'm not even going to apologize because hopefully it sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, totally. This is fucking explicit now.
The explicit button. Let me use my finger.
La, 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 la.
It is time for another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And that episode starts now. All right, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And we just want to tell everyone we hope you're having a wonderful week. We hope you guys are great. I can't even fucking do it.
Jesus, man. Who the hell is this? Who are you? What have you done with Bill?
Yeah, fuck all that. I was trying something different. It's
All
kind
right.
of... once again, I'm going to tell you, I'm not necessarily making fun of people, but I just know that...
Been listening to those podcasts again, are you?
Yeah, we are just so not those people, and I'm like, I wonder how it would sound. I couldn't even get past the first line, so...
Right. How you doing, what the fuckers?
Right.
Those
So,
are the podcasts I listen to. Go ahead.
Yeah, God, what the fuck was I going to say? I haven't
I
listened
don't
to,
know.
first of all, I haven't listened to Mark Maron in a little bit. I've been listening to some of the other ones.
Right.
Smartless, which is what Dr. Sarah mentioned. We were talking about
right.
that earlier. And honestly, those guys are funny. I mean, they're, again, celebrity guests and all that stuff, but, you know, extremely loose format, and they're goofy.
Right.
And they're just a really lighthearted thing. And so far, I mean, they had a couple of people on that were sober. They had Robert Downey Jr. God,
Easy for you to say.
Right. And then, of course, you know, Will Arnett sober, and Jason Bateman, one of the other hosts, is sober. But other than that, it's just like goofy nonsense. But it's, you know.
I put it in my Spotify queue. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Right. So if anyone notices just a mild echo in the background. So first of all, Mike is here in Indiana tonight because we're going
wants
to...
me.
Right. Yes, somebody does at least.
Right. I'll take it.
Right. But
yes,
yeah, we're
a little echoey. I am in Kathy's bedroom. Ooh. She is not here.
Right, and the dog is not there, and you're all set up in there. So, but yeah, one way or the other, it's we're both here in Indiana under the same roof. Actually,
we are
both plugged in tonight too. So, you know, hopefully, we won't have any Wi-Fi issues or anything like that. So, who knows? Expect nothing better.
Right, exactly. Expect the same old shit. It'll be fine.
I was just gonna say, expect the best or better, and I'm like, no, I couldn't even get that out of my mouth. So, all right. So I've got a bunch of different notes and shit like that. But let's, and as always, before we get off on some sort of weird fucking tangent, you know, talking about shit like we already have, why don't we do a reading?
Why don't we? Well, you know what? One jumped out at me this week. It was yesterday's.
Nice.
And as we talked about earlier in the pre-show, I haven't been online a whole lot this week, so I don't know if he posted it, and I don't care. I'm sharing it anyway. So this is yesterday, July 13th. Let's see here. It's a little dark in here. So let's see. What was hard to endure is sweet to recall. It's a continental proverb. I don't know what continent. Let's see. We will not regret the past nor wish to close the door on it. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 183. This is one of the promises of our recovery program. No matter how terrible the times in our lives have been because of our addiction, we will know that they have made our recovery all the sweeter. It takes a long time and a lot of work to get to that point. The big book says that we will get this feeling when we are working step 9, making amends to those we had harmed. It's hard to imagine, is it not? The idea of facing the people we hurt will heal us. Yet that is exactly what happens. As we make our amends, we realize that we are all in this life journey, together or separately. And we all face challenges and tests. We will do our best. We all do our best. We can, what the hell? Hang on. We all do the best we can to learn our lessons of faith, love, and hope, and then to live more fully. Prayer for the day. Higher power, help me keep my life in perspective. Help me to be happy where I am today. Today's action says actions because this is a program of action. Today I will list 2 or 3 times that were very hard when they happened, but in the end had some good come out of them. That's it.
Nice. So it was kind of funny. I don't remember if it was yesterday or today I had posted something from God Grant Me, but there was something I wrote down, which I'll get to in a minute. And I thought as you were reading that, I'm like, God, I wonder if this is the same thing where I wrote down this action from one of them. And I think it was an action from God Grant Me. But so one of the things that, and obviously you started off with it. I don't know not the continental. What was it? Continental proverb.
Yes.
I was trying. I mute every time you read because I don't want to fuck up the reading. So I'm sitting here laughing when you're.
I'll fuck it up on my own. It's fine.
Right. Well, like
clearly,
when you said it was dark in here, and then the continental proverb. I don't know what continent it is. I'm just sitting here laughing because you just had this conversation with yourself. It makes me laugh.
Sure.
But obviously we can't regret the past, or should not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. So or close the door on it, and that's something that clearly is part of this whole thing we do, as they say, but something that we heard, and I know we heard it not only in meetings but groups and all that, and something you and I have talked about, maybe even on here, but it's, I don't know. Do you think that that's difficult, or at least was difficult right off the bat?
Oh yeah, of course, because we've got tons of shame and guilt and all that crap that we did, and we haven't started working any steps to alleviate that shame and guilt. But at this point, yes, it's gone. I always liked when it was explained to me early on that all that crap you went through and all those bad things that you did. Guess what? You get to use that now to help the next guy. And and so even though, yes, I look back on my life and there was lots of wasted time and energy and damage done, and, again, just piles and piles of shit in my past. Actually, because of working this program and doing the right thing with it, those piles of shit have value now, because I can take those experiences and share with the next person, look, I've been through it too. There's a way out, and help them to relate and help them to know that they're not alone and they're not unique and they're not different and they're not special. We're all the fucking same, man. We all did a bunch of crap, and that crap now has value because I use it to help the next person when I can. And so, so I don't regret it, because I had to go through it to get to where I am today. So yeah, it's pretty good shit.
Well, and I mean, you and I have talked about that plenty of times on here, that with not only amongst ourselves, but when we have guests on and stuff like that. And I know that conversation, that exact thing, that those words that you just said, all this shit that we went through can now actually be useful, to somebody else. And I mean, really, whether we originally tried to do it or not, that is what we're doing here. It's just we're telling all these fucking stories, and it's fun because we had a couple of I don't want to say new listeners, but people that have been listening to our podcast, followers that had touch base and say, oh, I just listened to this episode, and the story about that, or your story about this, or when you guys talked about this thing, and and still talking to even people that we know that have listened to stories like Katie, for instance, like Derek's girlfriend, when she listened to the episode when I talked about all the stuff that happened with Kimmy and reconciling and all that.
Sure.
She didn't know You know, I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
but
Right. How could
but
she?
again, yeah, and I don't know that. Well, clearly, Derek hadn't sat down with her and said, "Oh, by the way,
Hmm.
I didn't find out that I had a sister until 10 years ago,
Right.
because my dad was a fuckhead, and
Yeah.
all this different stuff." And
Hmm.
because she's like, "You guys have such a great relationship now," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, but that's because
Right. Right. Because you're doing the next right thing.
right."
And
And
you
the
made it.
only
And yeah, go ahead.
no, go on.
I was going to say, and you doing the right thing, and you made it possible for both of them to have each other in their lives. It's fucking beautiful, man.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
got nothing. I mean, it's you did the work, but they get to benefit from it. That's the point of this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean that's super cool. And you know what? What's funny is that what the fuck day is it today? The 14th.
Mm-hmm.
There was and when did I come up for? I came up for it was June 21st that I
Mm-hmm.
came up here 10 years ago, and
Mm.
had my interview with that company in Madison, because it was 2013,
All right.
and that's when they met. And
Mm.
it just came up on, well, you got to figure, in the last few weeks it came up as
Sure.
a memory. And I one of my Facebook things is, because June 21st, there was a few things that had happened in the month of June, but
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that was a that was a big one.
Yeah.
But there's still that picture of the two of them, because we were Dons, and
Mm-hmm.
we sat them both down, and I mean, Derek had this smile on his face that again, I'll say, you couldn't have punched it off his face. I say it for
Right.
myself, but I don't think I could have punched the smile off my young son's face on that day.
Mm-hmm.
My 12-year-old's face.
Right.
You shouldn't be smiling. Let me check. Boom.
Right.
But
Oh, you
but
could have.
yeah.
You could have picked up a beer.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, that'd
goddamn
have
good
punched it
point.
right off his face. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think if that was before or after the Las Vegas trip. I think it was before then, or no, after
Mm-hmm.
that. So, but yeah, you're right. And the only thing I was going to say was, I don't really have regrets these days, but every once in a while, it's almost like, I guess it just kind of popped into my head. I
Mm-hmm.
almost liken it to the thoughts I have about alcohol these days. That
Mm-hmm.
every once in a while you get this wave of, "Woo,
Sure.
alcohol sounds decent," or
Yeah. Yeah.
that feeling, that thing, and then you in a split second play the tape through, kick the thought out, and you're done.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I'll have those same things with, if I want to say, and here's my air quote, my
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote regret. I'll think of
Mm-hmm.
something that I did, or something that I could have
Sure.
had, or where I would have
Right.
been, or
Or
whatever it
something you
is.
didn't do.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
and but at that point, I'm just kind of like, well, first of all, everything, I
Mm-hmm.
don't shut the door on all the shit that I did, and I'm
Right.
not going to regret it, because I can't fucking change it. And then again,
Mm-hmm.
to go back to what you just said, everything that I did do, didn't do, did get, didn't get,
Mm-hmm.
all of it matters to us sitting here right now in these experiences, which once
Sure.
again might help people, right?
Absolutely. And we don't sit there and dwell on it and then, focus on it and, oh, Jesus, I am a piece of shit. And then you get that shame and that guilt going again. And before you know it, you need to fucking medicate yourself to get rid of that shame and guilt.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't want or need that today. I think you could probably.
exactly.
I'm going to speak
That
for you and say that you don't want that either.
no, that failed stockbroker was onto something. Don't dwell on that shit, assholes.
Well, didn't we call one of our episodes? We talked about the word wallow came up in it a couple of times, and that was
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the title of the episode, wasn't it? Don't wallow in something.
I don't know.
I don't even know either. The episode titles were always fucking funny, but so the other thing that I wrote down was the facing people that we hurt, which
Mhm.
I mean that once again, I mean that kind of goes along with everything we always talk about, but the gladly and thankfully getting to the point where if either one of us saw somebody out of our past that we knew
Mhm.
needed that conversation or that amends or whatever,
Right.
we're not going to cross the street to avoid them, and we're not afraid
Nope.
of facing that anymore, which is cool.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's great. Yeah. Enjoy the freedom, motherfuckers. Yep.
I just took a drink of coffee and almost choked.
Yeah, I know.
on
I
it.
heard you.
I mean, enjoy the freedom I expected, but enjoy the freedom, fuckers. I like
Yeah,
that.
but it is, but it's nice. Yes, we are free. I can walk up to somebody I fucking hurt. I can walk up to somebody who may still have a resentment against me and have all kinds of bad feelings. Just because I changed doesn't mean that, if I haven't seen them, that hurt might still be there, but I can walk up to them and say, hey man, I'm sorry. And I guarantee I won't do it again. Not
Right.
today. Yeah, and then they could do with it what they want, and it's okay, because I know my side of the street's clean.
Right.
Yep.
Well, you know what? And this is again that it was kind of funny that I mentioned you and I were talking about the Collective Soul concert at Summerfest,
Mm-hmm.
and this is not why it popped into my head, but when you just said if you hadn't seen somebody in a while, but
Mm-hmm.
that chick that I was dating in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
After I got sober and stuff, and at the time that she and I were dating, I mean, I had one or two episodes, I guess, when she was with me when I drank too much or whatever. Nothing bad happened, but she got to see good old drunken me.
Mm-hmm.
But it just got to the point where I broke up with her because I thought the next step would be that I'm supposed to take that next step, ask her to marry me,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. She was a wonderful person, she really was, but
Mm-hmm.
and I just fucking dumped her out of the blue. But
Mm-hmm.
to my credit, even at that time frame, I drove all the way to Michigan and actually had a face to face conversation with her.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't make it any easier on her,
Right. Right.
but I did that. So after I got sober, and I think it might have been within the first year. I
Mm-hmm.
looked her up on Facebook, and I sent her a message and kind of told her, I'm like, okay, here's my deal. I'm going through this process right now, but this is what. But I'm like, I owe you an apology if you ever have time. It's a worst case scenario. Kind of like the whole thing. You didn't deserve
Mm-hmm.
how I
Yeah.
treated you, and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard back. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then
Right.
no shit, like 2 years after that, I get this Facebook message from her. And what
Mm.
happened was, of course, I wasn't connected with her on Facebook,
Right.
so it dumped into whatever Facebook does with those. That somebody tries to send you a message. I don't know if it's still like that, but
I
it
have
dumped
no
into
clue.
this. I don't know. It was message requests or something like that. So she never saw it.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
But so at that point, she's like, I don't know if you're still sober or whatever, but I appreciate the message. But and I said, I am, actually, and I messaged
Right.
back. Never
As a
talked
matter
to
of
her,
fact.
but
Yeah. Sure.
as a matter of fact, 3.5 years later, I was, or 2.5 years
Right.
later, I was. But she told me, and she was number one, thanked me, for
Mm-hmm.
opening up and saying, yeah. She's like, you hit me out of the blue, and then we went back and forth. But same deal. She's like, you hurt me a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she said, quite honestly, she said, I got past it, but I really never got over it because I
Right.
didn't understand it, And I'm like, hey,
Sure.
but I had that chance, and it just, I haven't thought about that circumstance in years. And seriously, it had nothing to do with us talking about the collective soul. It was
Mm-hmm.
you just when you mentioned, not seeing anyone for a minute. And I'm like, bing.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Ah,
And let's be
but
honest, you broke it off because she was going to get in the way of you drinking.
at that time, no, because she and I, she was cool. I mean, we went out,
Mm,
we drank together, we partied together the whole bit. She
sure.
wasn't like me. There was
Mm-hmm.
nothing. Swear to God, 100%. There was nothing like that. She never
Hmm.
pressured me. She never
All right. Right.
questioned my drinking or anything like that. It wasn't like it was with both of my marriages. They knew,
Mm-hmm. Well,
and
again, because you had taken that next step of the marriages, and then it was getting in the way of your drinking.
right,
Yeah. And at that point, I know this is for me. That's why I didn't get in relationships and take those steps at the last 6-7 years of me being out there because I knew. That look, anybody that I get close to, anybody that I'm gonna try to bring into my life is just gonna get in my fucking way.
right.
So I'm just not gonna do it. Yeah.
And and it's funny though that and how fucking clueless and how in severe denial I was.
Mm-hmm.
That never occurred to me. I never really
Oh, I'm sure.
thought about
Yeah.
trying to cover those things up.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, granted, with Dawn, I ended up having to hide it and all that sort of things, but
Right.
I never thought about it with going into a new relationship. And that chick and I were together back in 90 97 area. Not that
Mm-hmm.
that matters. I mean, I already had
Right.
my DUI. I was problematic. There was no doubt about it. But
Right.
Yeah, seriously, that part didn't cross my mind. I just didn't want I didn't want the commitment, as
Right.
far as
Well,
the relationship
that's
commitment.
kind of what I'm saying. I mean, no, it wasn't a big conscious thing that, oh, I'm not going to let anybody in because no, I just fucking didn't want to let anybody in because they were again going to get in my way, man. I knew I just wanted to fucking drink, man. I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want anybody to slow me down,
Right.
so I didn't. Yeah, right. I'm not going to take that next. Oh, fuck you, but I'm not taking that next step because you're gonna get in my way.
Yeah.
You're gonna slow me down because I'm not fucking normal, and I sure as hell wasn't going to get involved with somebody who was exactly like me because I know what fucking problem that is.
Right. Well, and you know what? I'll give you this much because I don't know. Is that
Mhm.
in worst case scenario? The fact that I was so fucking clueless about everything else,
Right.
that it could have been an underlying thing that I wasn't even aware of. Like a
Right.
self sabotage type of thing, but
Hmm.
um, a self sabotage, self preservation type of thing that I wasn't even
Exactly.
aware of. And
Hmm.
clearly, it's just I can't. It's two things. I have no desire to argue with you one way or the other. That's
Right.
number one. But number two is I don't have anything to I have nothing to back up the argument.
Okay.
I can't
Right.
say that you're right or I'm wrong or I'm right and you're wrong. I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
it's all of it's
Yeah.
plausible. It's
Oh
all
yeah,
plausible.
right. Exactly. That's kind of my point. I'm not saying
Yeah.
exactly, but I think when it comes down to it, we're so fucking selfish, and we're so again, like you said, self-harming and self-preservating. Is that a word? Anyway,
Sure. It
sure,
is
we'll
now.
use it for now. It is exactly. I made up a new word.
Right.
Yes, we're harming ourselves and preserving ourselves, and yeah, by not getting in that relationship, or and then God, that nightmare of being in a relationship, like you said, hiding it and fuck, God, I'm so glad we don't have to deal with that anymore, man.
Right. Yeah, it is. And you know what? Even since I actually quit smoking, even though
Hmm.
people knew that I smoked, there was
Right.
quite a few people that I just wouldn't openly smoke around, only
Hmm.
because I didn't want to affect them with my thing.
Right.
And vaping is I was just telling somebody else this the other day, and I can't for the life of me think of who it was. But did you notice when we were at Founders Day how many people were vaping?
Oh
I've
yeah.
and I don't think that maybe I'm just more aware of it now because I'm
Hmm.
actually doing it. But
Sure.
it just seemed like there were still people smoking, but it's like every
Hmm.
fucking buddy was vaping. And I was just like, damn,
Right.
that's crazy,
Hmm. Yeah. That's, don't get me started. Of course, it's crazy. That's why I stay with the Marlboros.
Right. But it is. It just I don't know. I think in a sense it's at that point where cigarette smoking is
Hmm.
more it's less socially acceptable these days than now vaping is, and it's almost like
Oh
this
yeah.
weird turn, so just it's I don't know, it just kind of blew my mind. Like I said, I can't think of who I was talking to about that, but it was crazy,
Hmm.
so but yeah, still I don't
Hmm.
have to anything like that. But yeah, I'm so glad not to have to. I don't want to sneak around about shit anymore.
Nope.
Again, too old for that bullshit, right?
Too sober for that bullshit.
Too old, too sober, too tired,
Well.
all those things. So, but no, and I
Exactly.
don't. I don't remember if I posted about that. I did something with God Grant Me this week, but I don't remember which one it was. But
Hmm.
I have one thing though from God Grant Me, and this is what I wrote down, and this is kind of what I thought you were getting to. I don't
Okay.
remember if this was the action item from today or I think it was today. So
Hmm.
anyhow, was there a time that I stood face to face with a wall that I could not get through, and what happened? And the reading was about allowing your higher power to reveal a
Hmm.
door when you're ready or when
Right.
it's ready.
When it's
So
ready. Right.
and and I remember this because we've used the analogy of banging your head against the wall but moving over and then
Hmm.
walking through a door, and I
Hmm.
thought about that, and I made a note of it because it was one of those thinking questions.
Hmm.
So do you recall a time like that when whether it was when you were sober or prior to, when you can look back now and say, okay, I hit a wall that you couldn't get through, and then what happened with that? Is there anything that pops into your mind?
No, nothing that does. You know what? clearly, I read that today as well. And the thing that I liked about it was the analogy of the walls are maybe not necessarily there to stop you, but to guide you in the right direction. You
Right.
know, if you kept going forward the way you wanted to, there's my air quotes, you wanted to go, um, you know, you would end up in a very wrong place. Maybe that wall's there to guide you towards that door that you need to go to. You know, maybe going through the wall in that particular spot is not what you need. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of a particular example of that. Probably just because I sort of let those walls guide me today. I
Right.
don't, yeah, you know, I don't bang my head against them. I was like, oh, there's a wall here. I guess I can't go forward any farther. I need to go right or left. And oh, there's a corner. There's another wall over there to my right. So I guess I have to go to the left. And yeah, you know, I let those walls guide me today. So I don't fucking worry about them anymore.
Right. Well, and quite honestly, when I read it, I tried not to think about it too much, because if I write something
Hmm.
like that down and make a note of it,
Right.
would rather keep it open for this.
Hmm.
But at first glance, when I read it, I
Hmm.
couldn't think of anything, and I can't think of anything now either. You know, but the whole thing was that is understanding that the thing that really, if nothing else, kind of got to me is just that basically it's things happen in their own time. You know,
Hmm.
our higher power or your higher power, whatever the higher power is,
Hmm.
revealing the door when ready. Now, whether it's when it's in their time, our time, somebody's time, again,
Right.
being guided, whatever the case is, those doors
Hmm.
don't open until either we're ready to receive whatever's on the other end, or,
Hmm.
you know, we're ready to get out of our own way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, well, and you know, the wall itself is a power greater than myself. So there you go.
That's a damn good point.
Uh-huh.
Does it have another brick in it, or no?
It may, all in all,
There might be another brick.
in that wall. For you
Thank you.
kids out there, that's a Pink Floyd lyric. Google that shit or ask your granddad.
Right. Yeah, ask your grandfather. Yeah, depending on how old you are, or possibly your dad. You know. Yeah.
Right. Mhm.
But
Well, you've said, you know, what that's working on 50 years ago. So yeah,
right.
45. Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, old people like
Hmm.
us know about
Yeah.
the Floyd. So, but anyhow, no, that was good. I like that reading a lot, and like I said, I just as you were reading it, because this one too. I mean, it had, about the closed doors and all that stuff. That's why I was thinking it was the
Hmm.
same reading. But anyhow,
Yeah. Yeah.
all good stuff. So,
Right.
again, I've got a handful of like kind of like newish things, but the one
All
thing that
right.
I wanted to make sure to talk about though was your radio gig. Um,
Ah.
so let's get everyone kind of up to speed on that. I posted about only once on
Hmm.
Instagram so far, but I know we've
Right.
got at least another month and a half, or a month and 10 days, I think, if I'm not
Yeah. Something
mistaken.
like
So
that. Right.
yeah, tell us about your gig.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, I do this every year. I try to anyway. There's a local college radio station in Cleveland, WJCU. It's a John Carroll University. It's a Jesuit university. Ooh, religion. Anyway, it is.
I know.
But the university only funds so much of their budget every year, so they have a radiothon every year, community supported radio, and I donate every year. To a show in particular. It's called the Metal on Metal Radio Show. It is the longest running heavy metal radio show in the world. A guy named Bill Peters has been doing it since 1982. And I'm glad to be a part of it. So, yeah, like I said, I donate a little money every year and I get to go on the air and play my awful music. And that's exactly what I'm going to do on August 25th. Coming up this year. Yeah, it's Friday night. We'll plug this more and more, but it's cool. If you're out there in the interweb lands, which clearly you are because you're listening to us on the interwebs, it's www.wjcu.org, and they've got a 24-hour. They're on all day, all night. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's all kinds of music on the station. There's community stuff. There's God, I think there's a poetry show. All kinds of stuff. It's community radio, college community radio. But every Friday night from 6:30 till 9:30, there is a heavy metal show that's been on since 1982. So if you're into that, check it out. Like I said, there's punk shows, there's rock shows, there's alternative shows, there's everything. It's a very cool station, and I'm glad to support it. And I'll be spinning my crummy, rotten punk rock and heavy metal stuff August 25th.
And I just looked. We still have it. It is WJCU.org, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is still on our website. I've got that.
Yeah.
It's
Cool.
got moved down, but I still have a link
Sure.
to it from last year. So
Yeah.
if you go to our sponsor page, and this is our podcast page, the SoberNotMature.com.
.com. We're definitely not an org.
Right. So yeah, the SoberNotMature.com, and then hit our sponsor page. All the way at the bottom, you'll see the WJCU Metal on Metal radio show. Click through, and
Cool.
that is their website. And what I'll do is, as we continue to promote that throughout the next however many weeks,
Right.
I'll keep that on the sponsor page, obviously. And I thought I did. That's why I just wanted to check. But
Cool.
we'll move it up a little bit or whatever. Get a link, and we'll start posting it up on Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. But yeah. So yeah, I wrote a note because I definitely wanted to remember about that. So
Yeah,
the
that's a cool thing, kids. You get sober and you can become a part of the community. And it doesn't have to be the sober community. You can actually be part of the real world out there, which is nice.
Well, and I know you told the story last year that you found this radio station. I think when you were at the Keating Center, really new,
like
right?
a couple of weeks sober. Yeah. It was a Friday night, and again, raw as fuck, man. A couple weeks, man, and it was a Friday night. I'd gone to a meeting and came back and had nothing to do, so I turned on the radio, man, and was flipping around. And actually, I found a show that was on after Bill's show, which isn't there anymore. A couple of guys, Adam and Max, did a punk rock show, and so they were playing. I can't remember if it was either the New York Dolls and then the Dead Boys, or the Dead Boys and the New York Dolls. But either way, my fucking shit, man. And I went, wow, what the hell is this? And yeah, Bill will attest. Every Friday night, man, we were in the 3-quarter house. I'd go out and go out on the balcony and pull the old Brooklyn public Wi-Fi into my little laptop and listen to the radio show.
Yeah, and then when we moved in together, you shut your door and fucking crank that shit up. And
yes, I would.
And it was every Friday night. But the reason I brought that up is because I think it's in everything you just said, giving back to the community and all those different things. But I think it's really cool that it started when you were at the Keating Center, newly sober and all that. And even though it wasn't directly related to, it's still a part of, that time
absolutely.
of your life. So
yeah,
I just think it's cool.
It does hold a special place in my heart because, like Phyllis used to say, don't go fucking read the big book, go be a human being. And that was my first kind of foray into being a sober human being. Not necessarily, right. Not being the cool rock and roll guy that I am. Hey, but no, but doing it sober. Yeah. Right. So it does have a great place in my heart. And that's why part of the reason that I support them year after year.
Right. Well, I mean, again, it's a nice thing to give back, but truly, it's just I appreciate that story about where it came from because it just I don't know, it's just we've got all these little things that we've held on to for all these years, and I just think that I don't know, it's cool,
Yeah, it is.
So I've got a whole bunch of things to jump into here, but why don't we do this? Considering the time and before we get off on a whole different topic and stuff like that, what do you say we take a break, Mike?
All right, then. Well, stay tuned for more Sober Not Mature after these words from our sponsor.
Hey everyone, it's your friends at Sober Not Mature.
Hi
And
there.
yes, it's both of your friends this time. Hi Mike, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Bill?
I am doing well, but we do have a purpose. We actually usually talk about our one website, but we actually have two websites now. So we wanted two websites in one. All right, so everyone knows we still have the podcast website that is www.SoberNotMature.com. And we just launched the store website, so we also have that. Do you know what the website address is on that one, Mike?
Of course I don't.
It's pretty easy, Mike. It's www.SoberNotMatureShop.com. So, but from the podcast website, you can still hit the store link and get into the web store, or you can access it from our Instagram page through the highlights. We've been posting quite a bit about it, and we'll continue to do that. But do you know what's on the second website, Mike?
Well, there's a store. There are products that you can purchase for you and your loved ones.
Well, Mike, do we still have merchandise?
We have merchandise. Well, we got T-shirts and coffee mugs and all kinds of crap.
And one of the coolest parts, we also do have all the recovery books from Hazelden, which is kind of a big deal.
That is a big deal.
At least for us. So all the books that we read, God Grant Me, 24 Hours, the Big Book, the 12 and 12, all of those books are available for sale on our website. And once again, that store website is www.sober.
Trying to help, man.
I know you are. You're not helping, though. Okay, now I got to say www.SoberNotMatureShop.com. .com. Visit that today, or visit the podcast website, which is, again, the podcast website. So
www.SoberNotMature.com.
Did you just say sober but not mature?
Yeah, sure. Write that down.
Yeah, like fucking mush mouth or something. All right, everyone. You've suffered enough with this, and we'll get back to what we were talking about previously. So visit the websites, though. All right, everyone. Welcome back.
Practicing my pukey DJ voice.
Once again, there was somebody that I was messaging with, one of our followers on Instagram, that had same deal, just started to listen. And I mentioned something about the break, and they're like, obviously they had heard it, and mentioned something about the lead into it. It's basically saying the mic sounds like one of those TV commercials. And I said, that's what he's supposed to sound like. He's doing that on purpose.
Yeah, I'm trying.
He's like radio commercial guy, but
right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it just
been hearing that my whole goddamn life. You should be on the radio. Yeah, I have the face for it. Thank you.
Yeah, we had talked about that too. And you know what? It's funny because I think you've got a better, in my opinion, I think you've got a great radio voice. I've had people actually tell me that I've got a radio voice, which I don't know. I mean, people have told me from the training side of things that I had a very soothing and calming voice, and I'm like,
certainly put me to sleep.
Right, and that literally the first time somebody told me that years ago. I said, "Do you mean like I bore you?" And they're like, "No, you make us feel comfortable. You've got one of those. It's not like this great, I don't know, whiny, raspy, whatever." I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll take it as a compliment."
Sure.
But then, somebody would fall asleep and start to nod off in a training class, and it's like, okay, I guess the voice is getting to you.
Right.
But yeah, there's a trick with that. Is just that any trainer that lets a class run longer than an hour without letting people stand up is stupid.
Yeah, of course.
Because just like meetings. When we first started going to meetings, what they say the reason the leads were that 20 to 30 minutes is because nobody has any attention span.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right. And plus, like Joe used to say, anything over 20 minutes is bullshit, so keep it short.
Right. Well, and that in itself, that used to always crack me up too. So all right. So first of all, I wanted to just kind of recap what I don't know, just in general. So the episode last week with Dr. Sarah, I mean, I think I had a really good time with her. I mean, I think that was one of the best conversations we got. Did you read the review, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah. So, and I wanted to talk about that Sober Curator just a little bit for
boners.
Right. Yeah. And so here's the thing, in case everyone didn't catch all of this stuff. So first of all, and please, if you guys listening to this don't follow them already, you should. If you haven't looked at their website, you should. It's the Sober Curator. That's what they're under on Instagram. You'll get a link
Is
to
that
their
with a Q?
no, Curator, Curator.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, radio guy. Spell it out for the listener. But so check out their Instagram page. They have a website. You'll be able to, see their profiles. And the founder, her name is Elise. And the story behind this, how all of this came about was, well, two things. It was some list that was put on months and months ago that they did, and I didn't realize it was them at the time. This list of podcasts and whatever, we weren't included. And then
Right.
Father's Day weekend, this Sober Curator, CURA. I promise I'm not going to spell it out every time.
.com.
.com. Oh, fuck me. Oh, just fuck me. But
Right.
so this list comes out before Father's Day, and it's a list of male run or male led podcasts. And it's the
Sober podcast, right?
Sober podcast. I'm sorry. Yeah. So and then it's like the top 10 or 15 or 9, whatever the number was. And I'm looking at them I'm like shit, because one of our this other podcast that we follow posted it, and I'm like, well, fuck, man, we're not on the list. And
Right.
I'm like,
we've got 2 guys.
Exactly. That's exactly
We
what
have 4 testicles.
All these other ones only have 2. We've got 4.
That's right. We've got 4. Double.
Double the balls for your pleasure. Balls everywhere. So
That's right. Balls to the wall.
So I did a post. Not only did a screenshot of the article, then I went on to the Sober Curator page, screenshotted their page, and basically wrote this post. And I was wrong when I said it with Dr. Sarah. I said, whose leg do we have to hump? I didn't say who do we have to blow. That was my thought. But I said, whose leg do we have to hump to get on this? And same thing. We have two men leading this podcast, blah, 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 this and that.
Right.
And I tagged the Sober Curator. And all of this shit was on fucking purpose, because I'm like, I want them to see this, because we want to be on this fucking list.
Right.
And
look at us.
and you know what? As much as we say we don't care and whatever it is, every once in a while it's kind of nice. I'm like, it'd be just cool to get on a list, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've been on lists, but we want to be on one that's good.
Yeah, we want to be on the you should listen to this list, because they're they're sober, they're fun. So anyhow, the founder of it, her name is Elise, and I didn't know it was a female at the time when she got back to me, and she's like, okay, so saw the post, it's great, no humping needed, but I'll listen to your podcast, and you guys are now on my radar, blah blah blah. So I don't hear anything about it, but I'm like, okay, whatever, she'll listen to it, she'll get back to us, and it is what it is. Right. So then when Dr. Sarah brought it up, I had no idea that they were affiliated anyway. And that's how when we were talking about it. So then all said and done, we get done with the episode. I get a message on Instagram from the Sober Curator, and her message to me, the opening line says, who do I have to blow to get on your podcast? And I'm sitting there laughing, and I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. So back and forth, she's the one helping out. Dr. Sarah is one of the curators on there. We are going to have her on our podcast. She'll be on the August 5th, the weekend of August 5th release. That's a Saturday, I believe, if I'm thinking about it. But we're going to record with her that week. Also, she might want us to be actually involved with her website, be one of their curators. Cool shit all coming from this. But
yeah, absolutely.
If you guys, one way or the other, you've got to read this review, because first of all, she says really nice things about us. And as much as we're sitting here fucking around, I don't know about you, but I was truly fucking humbled to read her review.
Oh yeah, it was very cool. Yeah, and she did it with our brand of humor too, which was just lovely. Couldn't have made it more perfect. Yep.
Well, and here's the funny thing too, because she said that, and this is a line that I loved. She said, if you don't get their humor, which means, oh no, I'm sorry. She said the intro to this podcast alone is enough sober entertainment to take me through the rest of my weekend.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen and don't find it funny, go ahead and just turn the episode off. And
Right.
she's like, don't get their humor, which means you
And
can
stop
stop.
right and stop reading here too, because
Yep.
you're not going to get mine either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, she's like, stop reading because you're not our people either. And I'm just like, this is fucking awesome. So super cool. And so we're going to be hopefully doing a little bit of collaboration with them. But we
Mhm.
appreciate them wholeheartedly. I mean, she's super cool, but I think that all of us, she's in the business of helping people, and she
Right.
does that whole curator thing. And all the people I think involved in it are doing it. It's on their own time, doing it to kind of give
Mhm.
back. And we might have we might be fortunate enough to be a part of that, which is
Yeah,
really fucking cool.
it is.
So yeah. So anyhow, I just wanted to mention that because I don't know. It seriously, as much as we fuck around with this stuff, it was humbling. It was definitely
It was.
a
Yeah,
humbling thing.
definitely made my day.
Yeah, absolutely. And last little quick note on podcast stuff, we are going to have a guest appearance on a podcast called Raw Thoughts, and we're going to
Mhm.
record that this coming Monday. I don't know
Right.
when. I don't know when it's going to be released, but we'll let everyone know. And
Right.
another one, she just we followed, and she's like, "How did you hear about us?" And she's like, "I'd love to have you guys on." It was just this whirlwind
Mhm.
thing, and we're like, "Okay." And she's
Yeah.
not really not even like a full-time sober podcast. She talks about all these different people and subjects and all those sort of things. And I don't
Yeah.
know. The only thing I don't know, which we'll have to remember to ask right away. I don't know if we can
Mhm.
fucking swear on there. So
No, fucking A, man.
I know I don't remember. I've listened to episodes and I don't remember if people are swearing. So we'll ask
Yeah.
it'll be a tough one if we can, but
Yeah, we'll try.
right.
As long as I can say hell and damn, I'll be fine.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, in all the years that I worked in and I'll say this, a quote unquote professional environment, I was able
Mhm.
to keep my mouth in shape, which
Yeah, right.
kind of blows my mind in a work situation, but I was able to do it.
Right. Right. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I get on the radio and it's regular radio, man. You can't use those words. So yeah.
You know what? So you got to think about this though, because last year at this time, and I'm going to say
Mhm.
we had only been doing this for about 6 months. You got like a year and a half
Right.
under your belt. Are you sure that when you get that mic in front of you?
I'll just get all comfortable and start going, fuck this and fuck that. And yeah, it'll be great.
Well, you
No,
can
I
still.
will control myself.
No, I know you will. I'm just kind of messing around, but
Right.
so I've got another kind of positive thing, and this was almost from it was a week before last because this is a message from one of our listeners, and it was very
Mhm.
nice. And the person messaged us on Instagram. So the person said that he had a like some sort of had listened to the podcast and this and that, and said he was getting a lot out of it. He had some sort of a financial setback, but was able to, kind of save the money and take care of things. Obviously since he wasn't drinking anymore. And he said, I got a nice 2-hour drive in the morning, so I'll have to listen
Mhm.
to an episode tomorrow. He says, genuinely can't thank you and Mike enough. We had a promotion, or he goes, I've had a promotion at work. Um,
Mm.
as well recently. It is 100% due to my new attitude. And he said,
Hmm.
you've helped at least one person, and that's what this is all about. So
Nice.
isn't that nice?
That is nice. Damn.
I know. And I'm just like, and like I said, this was the week before we had Dr. Sarah on, so I didn't have a chance to,
Mhm.
to read this off.
Ah.
But um, yeah, I was just like, holy fuck, man. So again, all the things, all the bitches we
Right.
have in life, all the little shit we got going on, and all the fucking bullshit that comes out of these mouths. I
Right.
mean, again, we've talked about this before. This right here, and here, I'm going to pen on the paper. That right here.
Right.
That's what
Does he
makes
got a
it
first
worth it.
name with that, or a handle, or?
I didn't write it down.
Okay. Well, to that listener, thank you, and I'm glad we could help you realize whatever it is you needed to realize from us. But no, man, you put the fucking work in. That's why you're getting the rewards. So we're glad we could help, but don't forget to thank yourself too, man.
Right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a damn good point. Yeah, I mean
Mhm.
it's just like anything else. A sponsor or a person who helps us in recovery or some
Mhm.
talking head behind a podium at a meeting. They're not the
Right.
ones that they may bring that message or carry that
Right.
message from somebody else, but
Which
yeah,
helps you to get your stuff. But yeah, exactly. It's an inside job, man, and you're doing the work and you're getting the rewards. So good for you.
right. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
I usually and I don't know if I just whatever I did. I didn't write down the person's name, but hopefully, if he listens to this, he'll know it. But yeah, we appreciate it, and I
We
second
do.
everything the Mike just
So
said.
we've
So
helped you and you helped us, and that's how this fucking shit works, man. So right on.
yeah, exactly. So so we're going to a concert tomorrow, which Foo Fighters, and we're going
We
to see
are. We're gonna
Joan
go fight
Jett
some
and
foo.
and the other thing too, and I posted something on the coaching website, and just had this just popped into my head, but like a meme about
Mm-hmm.
a sober weekend or nothing's better than a sober weekend, whatever it was. And I just
Right.
had this kind of this message of we're got this full weekend plan, Mike and I actually put in parentheses that if anyone doesn't know, we have a podcast, because I really don't. Again, I try not to do this cross stuff, but so anyhow, said, yeah, we're going to an event where literally and clearly, thousands of people are going to be there, and many of them are going to be
Mm-hmm.
drinking.
Many, many.
But
Some
yeah,
of them will be using drugs too.
some of them will be intoxicating and vomiting.
That's right. Some of them will be drinking and using drugs and fornicating.
Some of them may need medical attention because of it.
And
For
some
the
of them
40
won't.
for the
And some of those
fornicating,
motherfuckers are going to wake up the next day and take care of their kids.
right?
Bastards.
Right. But what my point with doing that was a typical kind of thing that I mean, sober weekends and sober events, but what I put in there is the fact that we've done the work, and granted,
Mm-hmm.
we're going together. It's two sober individuals with the same amount of time, and ran the same program and all these different things. But
Are we going to hold hands?
I think so. but
Yay.
I mean, the point of us being there, being spiritually fit, which I didn't put in there, but
Right.
you know
Right.
what I mean. Just
Mm-hmm.
it's a
I do.
it's a gift to be able to go to these things. Number one, be able to afford them,
Mm-hmm.
have the time, all
Right.
those sort of things.
Right.
But just to be able to be at an event like that, and neither one of us has to worry about, fuck, man, what are we gonna do? So
Right. Yeah, exactly. Am I going to end up in jail?
well, yeah, well, you never know. There's biker chicks there. Maybe that fornicating thing. Not for you, Chris.
Not for
Chris,
me. Right.
talking about
Chris.
me. I'm talking, it's the horror talking over here, not Mike.
Right,
Mike.
exactly. Yeah, but then, then her boyfriend's going to show up and I'm going to have to get in a fight with him because he's going to be balls deep in her. And then we'll all end up in jail. So, there is that opportunity.
Balls deep in a biker chick.
Yeah.
Episode title, maybe? Maybe. No.
Well,
No.
Let's save it for next week.
Right. No, we've already had balls deep in stuff. Balls deep in our recovery, didn't we?
Yeah,
Again,
right.
yeah, the second time in 2 episodes, we're talking about past episode titles.
Mhm.
I really do have actual other things to talk about. We don't have to recap. Wasn't hey, remember that time we had that episode title? But no,
Nope.
there was a segue that I had with us going to the concert. So
Mhm.
you and I have talked about music on here, concerts. You and I have talked about stuff. If you had to
Right.
pick, and I'll even give you the top 3. What are your
Mhm.
top 3 favorite concerts that you've been to of all time? And this is before or after sobriety. Top 3.
Top 3. Let's see. Shit. Well, first comes to mind is Motorhead, 1983, at the Stone in San Francisco. Just fucking great. If you creep my Facebook page and you go deep enough, there's a picture of a 15-year-old me with Lemmy. Yeah. So that was a real highlight. But shit. I mean, the first time I saw Kiss was pretty fucking cool. That was 1979. Yesterday. July 13th. I know that because it was my mother's birthday and I made her take me to see Kiss.
Oh shit.
Selfish and self-centered back then.
Nice.
I mean, I've seen Alice a ton of times. The first time was very fucking cool, 1978. I mean, I've been to literally hundreds of shows. I'm sure I'm missing lots of them. Seeing Cheetah Chrome from the Dead Boys. I've seen fuck. I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers do a sock show in a small club in Sacramento in 1983, maybe 4, somewhere around there. I mean, I've seen a ton of shit.
Right.
So narrowing it down to 3, there's no way in hell. I've seen a lot of cool stuff, man.
No, and I
just
figured
some
that
off the top of my head.
Well, and that's why I think I didn't want to limit it to one, but I think your number one might have been you could probably just stop there. I mean, as a number one.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Motorhead in a small club in San Francisco when I was 15 years old was pretty fucking cool.
Right. Yeah, it just I thought about again the concert and stuff like that. For years my number one was Pearl Jam. Kathy and I saw them in Soldier Field in '95, I think.
Right.
And still, that's probably my number 2. The Foo Fighters show that I saw 2 years ago was my number 1, and then Pearl Jam easily number 2, and then pick one of the Van Halen shows that I saw either in '93 or '95, the Hagar versions. But in whichever one, do you remember when did Vince Neil get kicked out of Motley Crue? Was that before? Do you know? I mean, I just thought.
Right? Yeah, I know. Carbaldi or whatever was singing with them. It was late '90s, I guess.
Okay.
I'm guessing. I don't know. The late '90s are pretty blurry for me, but yeah.
Well, because again, I saw Van Halen '93 and then '95. Vince Neil opened for them on one of those years. I don't remember which one it was.
Probably '95. Then.
Yeah, so I would have picked that one only because basically I got to see Motley Crue and Van Halen at that time because that's all it was. I mean, Vince Neil was up on stage singing a bunch of fucking Motley Crue songs.
Right. Yeah.
So
what else is he going to do? Write his own?
Right. But
kill a drummer.
Right. Yeah.
Dick.
I know. But yeah, it just, I don't know, kind of popped into my head since we were going, but I don't know. Tomorrow's going to be fun. I'll tell you, honestly, I'm super fucking excited to see Joan Jett, and I'm even happier that we get to see her because you've never seen her either. I mean, that still blows my mind. So,
right. Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, be a lot of fun. So, all right, enough on yesteryears and concerts and all that good stuff, right?
Right. But the point is, we're sober and we can go do that shit and we don't have to worry about it. You know what? We're going to wake up the next day with money in our wallet and free, and we're going to remember the show.
Right.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, the show and the trip.
Trust me, there's plenty of those shows that I went to that I do not remember them.
Right. Well,
I was there, but I have no idea what happened.
Okay, so this, and I've had this on and I almost forgot I had it on here. I was looking back. So what do you think, your opinion of Jimmy Buffett? I think I know your answer. That's what I thought.
Oh, wow. Yeah. My opinion on, I can't even swear as much as I want to on this podcast. Right. That's my opinion.
And I knew that. Okay. So, but this is kind of a funny drug story that, popped into my head at one point. I mean, months and months ago. So
was there a parrot involved?
No.
All right.
So this would have been.
Did you fuck his parrot?
No.
Damn.
Nope. None of that.
All right. Then I'm going to mute myself and you go ahead and tell it.
I can make that part of the story. I fucked his parrot.
Please. It's the only that's going to keep me interested. But go ahead.
No, I think you might enjoy this. So,
right.
let's even, it doesn't even matter that it's a Jimmy Buffett concert. Pick an artist that you are agnostic about.
Ooh, we got the dogs in stereo.
I know, that was weird.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Jimmy Buffett's fine.
Collective Soul. We'll say Collective Soul.
Sure, they're fine.
So, so I was at a Collective Soul concert. I get invited. My buddy Scott.
And they sang Margaritaville.
Right. It was fucking weird. Fucking
It
weird.
was.
So my buddy Scott at the time, his girlfriend was unable to go at the last minute. So whatever, got tickets. And it was at Alpine Valley, which I know you've heard of that. That's the place where Stevie
Right.
Vaughan died and all that stuff. And,
Yeah.
you know, same area where grass seats, and then you get down and there's the nice seats. And that's what they had were the nice seats. So we, on the way there, my buddy Scott had made up in one of those big ice cream tubs, you know, like the whole big old vanilla ice cream in it, you know, the big tubs with a handle. They made up daiquiri mix, margarita mix, whatever it was in there. So we were in his, he had a van at the time. His parents had a van. So we borrowed their parents' van. And no, just a minivan. His dad was, this was even the funnier part. His dad was, had MS. And so it's one of those vans where where the ramp comes out, where the door comes down. So yeah, we did. Yeah, we were able
come in handy.
It was great. So we were able to hit the button, and yeah, there's all this shit comes out, and we can pile it out in Alpine Valley. It's fucking great. So we're drinking margaritas or daiquiris and beer on the way there, and then it turned out it was like in May or end of May or something like that. Nice day, so we're kicking around doing whatever, grilled up some food in this one area, so drinking beer, Captain Morgan, all this stuff, fucking drinking like crazy, like 6 or 8 of us. By the time we even get into the concert, I can barely walk. So and I still went and got another beer. So
of course.
We go to the bathroom. My buddy Scott's kind of walking with me. And I mean, literally, there's this hazy memory of me kind of like hazing around and stumbling around. So I do believe that I used the restroom before we went and sat down. But we go and sit down. And again, I'm fucking lit, you know? And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I got to piss again. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, whatever, man, I'll just go here. So I do. I just fucking unzipped, and it's concrete, you know, regular seats, but the concrete,
it slopes down, right? Yeah. So it's going forward towards the stage.
So as these guys in front of me are just like, are you fucking taking a piss? I'm like, shut the fuck up, mouth it off. And I did. I just fucking pissed right there in the middle. And it's still light out too. You know, I just didn't give a fuck.
Sure. Oh yeah. Who cares?
So same deal. Cause during that time frame, we're fucking around, we're playing frisbee, we're doing whatever. I fell, I don't know how many times. Same deal. Like you said, waking up with regret and everything like that in the morning. I didn't really have any regrets, but I was fucking sore and hung the fuck over. And at the time, of course, Mom and Larry were huge Collective Soul fans, and they're like, "Oh, did they play this? Did they play that?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, they played it all." I don't remember that they even played a song,
right?
let alone any songs. So, so yeah, that's my Collective Soul concert.
Now, what I want to know is, did you call your penis a cheeseburger in paradise?
I did not.
While it was going on.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
All right.
Maybe it was a parrot.
Lost opportunity.
I called it a parrot. I don't think I could have. I think I could have called it anything. I couldn't speak. I couldn't walk. I'm lucky I didn't just piss myself, through my shorts.
Say, you're lucky you found it.
I know. I'm actually semi proud of the fact that I was able to even, fucking find
work a zipper.
Yeah, work. What was Bill's major accomplishment that day? Well, he did work a zipper.
He did.
He remembered how to work a zipper. So, so anyhow, I had not planned on telling that story today, but anyhow, that is what it is.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So, the one thing I had written down a while ago, and we've talked about these, up and down moments and moments of gratitude and that sort of thing. Do you ever, and I guess this kind of goes back to the reading. It's something I had written down, but it goes back to the reading, not regretting the past and all those things and blah, blah, blah. But do you have times when it just like for no reason you feel, and I never even know if depressed is the right word anymore, because I don't think that I'm ever like, it describes a feeling, but I don't know. I try not to compare myself, because there's people out there that have true depression, but you know what I mean? Like times when you're just flowing along at life, and then just for whatever reason, the bottom drops out in your head, and then what do you do about that? Whether you're not feeling well, depressed, feeling down, how do you handle that sort of thing?
Well, sometimes wallow in it. There's that word again, for a little bit, because hey, let's face it, it's comfortable, and I remember that. I have some wonderful warm feelings about wallowing in my shit. So sometimes it's comfortable to go back there for a little bit, but I also know that it's a very dangerous place to be. And quite frankly, the best way to get out of any of those moods, situations, whatever, run a little gratitude list, not even necessarily pencil to paper, but just go, all right, yes, I feel like shit. Yes, this is a bad day. Yes, this is a bad moment. Yes, this is crap, whatever's going on. But I've got this and I've got that. And I've got people in my life that I care about and care about me. And yeah, find something to fucking be grateful for. Yes, I can sit there and sit in my shit, or I can take the tools that I was taught and say, you know what? Yeah, this very moment might not be great, but again, I've got some pretty fucking amazing things going on in my life. If I focus on that, even though I've got this other shit that's happening right now, it works every fucking time.
Right.
If I choose to do it. I don't always choose. I don't. Honestly, I don't always choose to do it. But again, I also know that it's a very dangerous place to be, no matter how comfortable is the best word to use for that. Safe. I'm not safe, but just it was a place I lived for a very long time. So it's nice to go visit that neighborhood, but I don't want to live there anymore. Right. So I find a way to get the fuck out of there.
Well, and I'm sure, and just it made me think about it. The word that came into my head was, familiar. That yep. When you get into that feeling, it's like this. It's like a familiar place feeling, a comfortable blanket or whatever you want to call it. But it is weird, and I think and I have it the other way around too, where sometimes I'm in a really fucking great mood and I can't figure out why. Shit, I've talked about that on here.
Right.
And literally in the last, we've been doing this coming up on a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I've recognized that more and just, not tried to look into it. But that's the benefit of what I got, that benefit from doing this here with you and us talking this shit, figuring out that just fucking roll with it, man.
Yeah.
Because then there's those other times when there's nothing, as far as I can tell, there's no outside thing, force, event that's making me feel down, or if we want to call it depressed or whatever it is. But I'll just be walking along and all of a sudden it's like, fuck. I mean, why?
Yeah.
Right. But you're right. It's the
it's our default setting.
Right.
It really fucking is.
Right.
Yeah, the negativity and the the horrible. That's where we fucking lived most of our lives, man.
Right.
Yeah. So of course we're gonna fall back into it occasionally. So, again, so stop and go, yeah, do I really want to be here anymore? No. Isn't that other shit better? Yes. All right, then let's go back over there.
Right. Well, and the funny part was I wrote, and this I just wrote last weekend because I had posted about it too. I just wrote down feeling really good for short periods of time, being grateful for those moments and the rest of your life. The rest of our lives,
Right.
And when I had taken that picture, where was I going? I was going to get my car cleaned. So I was driving out to Portage out by where Mom used to live. So and I'm just, same deal. I mean, it's a beautiful day. I got my new sunglasses on and
sun shining.
Yeah. And then I was just kind of thinking
got a
about
full tank of gas.
Right. Well, and I wanted to, from a selfish standpoint, I wanted to take the picture because I was trying to do a couple of posts with the sunglasses, because again, they're ones we sell, and I could tag them and all that stuff. So semi-selfish.
Where would one get a pair of sunglasses like that, Bill?
I think they would be on our website, Mike. Which
thank you.
If anyone listened to our super fucking annoying break, they would have heard that. But you know what? Go to Instagram, hit the shop link, or go to our website and hit the store link, and you'll find it. We have sunglasses on there.
Yeah, sunglasses. Anyway, Bill was wearing them.
But so I kind of did it for that. But then I thought, I'm just sitting there, and after I took the picture, I just kind of looked. I'm like, you know what? I feel really fucking good right now. And again, it was that typical thing where there's no reason for it. But then I'm like, that's what this has. And seriously, you and I talking on here has turned my thought about that into exactly what I posted. I've got I mean, I kind of made a joke about sunshine's free and the sunglasses are for sale, but I'm like, this gratitude I have, I've worked for it. I had to earn it. So the reason I feel good right now is because I fucking worked for it. That's why.
Right.
I don't need any other reason. Why do you feel good? Because I should. Because I work for it.
Right. And but it's funny, man, 13 fucking plus years of doing this, it still doesn't quite feel right.
Right.
Fuck, man.
I know.
But it's okay. It's okay, man. It's there, man. Like you said, enjoy it. Yes, our first fucking thought's going to be, oh my God, I feel great. Why?
Right. And no doubt. And if anyone hasn't listened to our earlier episodes, seriously, listen from a year and a couple of months ago. It was in our early episodes when I talked about it a couple of times. I was number one. I was still in Wisconsin. I think the weather was starting to get nice because I think a couple of those times you went windows down, music on. I'm feeling good and like, why? But still, I just figured this shit out a year ago that I just need to, need to hold on to it. But still, even though we've worked through that shit, I'm sitting there.
It still feels wrong.
Yeah, I mean, literally, 5 days ago, I'm sitting in a fucking Kohl's parking lot questioning why I feel good, but then realizing that I'm supposed to. So I still had this conversation with myself, 5 or 6 fucking days ago.
Yep.
So
it's all right, man.
I know. It's what did they say? Progress, not what?
I don't know, something I can't remember. I'm not perfect.
Right. I think it has something to do with perfection, but I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know.
Perforation?
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Preparation?
Preparation H.
What?
Right.
H?
Assholes.
Yes.
Assholes.
All right. Hey, assholes. But the sun does shine there.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
So this was kind of funny. I should probably save this I'll save this one to the end.
Right.
Hang on one second here. So we have talked about Relapse before, and I know we talked about it kind of I don't remember. It's been so long ago, but I know that you and I have a pretty simple philosophy about that, but clearly not everyone does. And I know we have more people that are listening now and following us versus a year ago. So I just thought it might be a good thing, just to kind of recap. Number one, how we feel Relapse belongs or doesn't belong in this process, how we feel about it, what causes it, that sort of thing. Kind of a general conversation. Right. So you first.
Well, there's a couple things. Certainly Relapse does not have to be a part of recovery. Bill is proof of that up till right now. Anyway,
what the fuck time is it?
Right. Exactly. I don't know. I'm in a different time zone. But so Relapse does not have to be a part of recovery. I certainly have relapsed. I do not equate relapse with slipping. I don't know what a slip is. I've had periods of dryness. I've never had periods of sobriety. I've had moments of sobriety before I got sober, but never, I white knuckled it. I was dry for periods. I hung around AA. I hung around the program, but I never worked any of it. And I went back out because that's what we do. I have no choice. But if you are working a program, a 12-step program, some other kind of program, something that's making you behave differently, in a better way, making your life better, making the lives of people around you better, you don't have to drink and use. You won't have to drink and use. I don't have to drink and use because I'm working a program. I work that program every day. The moment I stop working a program, I'm going to get loaded. I'm going to pick up a drink. I'm going to pick up a drug, and I'm going to start hurting everybody around me. That's what's going to happen. We've talked about it plenty of times. I mean, the first year or so of this actual sobriety thing, working a program, I asked people that were lucky enough to come back after going back out. I said, what happened? And, you know, you get all kinds of different answers, but the answer that everybody always gave me, and in this 13 plus years, I stop asking, but I still hear their stories, and the stories are all exactly the same. They stopped. They stopped working a program. They stopped the habits and the routines that kept them sober, and so they lost their sobriety. That's a relapse. If you're working a program, you're doing it on a daily basis. You know, the wording is never have we seen or rarely have we seen a person fail. The original wording was never have we seen a person fail
Right.
who thoroughly follows our path. Yeah, follow the path. And you don't relapse.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. That fucking simple.
I just love the way. I mean, there was such actually a kind of I'll call a very beautiful and eloquently worded explanation. All of a sudden, you're like, just fucking follow the program. That's it. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I got tired of listening to myself
I know.
Follow the fucking program. Do the work. Get the results.
And that's I was just going to say that you get I could always tell when you get to the point where you're like I'm done hearing me. And I'm not talking about me because I know you get done hearing.
Right, I know. Right, yeah. I'm done hearing me. Right, yeah. I've said it 3 different ways, and now I've said it. So there.
But yeah. So and I wrote this down. I don't even remember when, a couple weeks ago, I think. But there was because I look on mainly now I'm posting all recovery memes on the coaching site and stuff like that. So I'm doing searches for recovery quotes and that sort of thing. And I saw one today, and I almost grabbed it, and I was going to post and put a big fucking red line through it because it says relapse is part of recovery, but it's okay. Dust yourself off, whatever. I'm like, no, it's fucking not. Not that it's not okay, because people fall and do that. I get it all. I get it. Right. But it's not okay to tell people that it's part of sobriety, because it doesn't have to be.
Right.
And I'm not at the moment, not even talking about myself. I asked this question when we first, I mean, we were super fucking new. It was in a group, and I had heard somebody say that, that relapse was part of recovery. And I equated it kind of like with death as part of life, So that's the way I I looked at it. I remember asking about it. It was Jim, who's our good friend?
Benning?
No.
No.
Who's our friend from the Keating Center that runs the Keating Center? Gallagher. So the bad Gallagher that was doing the.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Who's actually a pretty good guy, but anyway.
No, I know. I never liked him. He's a big old fucking blowhard, but that was my own problem.
He is, but I know. Yeah.
And you know what? If I saw him and talked with him today, I'd probably have a different vision of him.
Right.
Because
I'll run into him once in a while, and he's an all right guy. Yeah, he's a big fucking blowhard, but he's all right. Hey, that's what he is, and I accept him for that. And you get past that, and he's an okay AA. So what the fuck?
Okay. So you know what?
He's doing what he's got to do too.
And I'll give him that, because it's been years since I saw him. But I asked the question in the group, and he's like, I said, so is it true that that relapse is part of recovery? And he's like, where did you hear that? And he almost kind of like,
see, there you go.
Kind of like fucking berated me. I'm like, dude, man. In my head, I was just kind of like, what the fuck? I'm like, I don't know, because I didn't, I didn't. But
right, I know.
But that's not why I had no resentment against him. I was just kind of like, I wish I hadn't brought it up, but I learned from it, So
yeah. Well, yeah, but you got the answer. You got the right answer. Right. You just weren't ready for it.
Yep. Oh, no doubt. But so the thing of it is, and like when Mike said to begin with, I mean, as far as, I don't know if I'm an example of it, or just I happen to be, somebody who hasn't yet,
but that is an example of it.
I try to.
That is an example. You do the fucking work every day, and you're still fucking sober. Your first try. Yeah, all right.
I know.
Well, that's an example, asshole.
I know. It's just, but you kind of know. Sometimes I don't.
I know.
I try really hard not to make a.
Don't get humble on me now, man.
Okay. Well, yeah. What's wrong with you motherfuckers? You can't stay sober. There.
Right. There you go.
But so here's the deal. We've told the story 100 times. The short version is I was white knuckling it for 9 months and I didn't realize it.
Mhm.
And after a very nice conversation with my friend Mike, and also
Mm.
after an enlightenment that I had after a meeting, I fixed a couple of things that probably would have caused me to relapse. And
Right.
then again, I was listening to all these people, same as Mike said, and trying to figure out what the secret was. Why was
Mhm.
everyone relapsing? What day was it? What was happening? And all that it is just, it was what we were taught was, obviously don't drink, but go to
Hmm.
meetings, pray, and try to help another alcoholic. That's it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
we did those things. And now maybe we don't go to a lot of meetings, but we pray every day. We try to help out other alcoholics. That's pretty much
Mhm.
what we're doing here all the time and any other time we have an opportunity. But the main thing, and Mike, you're the one that brought it up, and I think probably prior, but you've talked about it endlessly on here, which is, I mean that in a good way, just
Mm.
don't stop.
Right.
That's the easiest fucking way to put it. Whatever you're doing, keep moving forward. Don't stop. Keep doing the
Right.
same things every
Right.
day, and
Yep.
every fucking person we talk to, you know,
Yeah.
as recently as
Yeah.
people at meetings over the last, 3-4 months that we've seen people and all that stuff, you know?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. Did you make your bed today?
Yep.
Me too. Did you have pizza? It's Friday night. Did you have pizza?
I sat there looking at your bald ass face.
Yeah, exactly. Eating
Eating
pizza.
pizza.
Right.
Right. Oh,
Spiteful.
well, you heard me a second ago, right? Have you listened to me? Have you listened at all?
Exactly.
And you know what? I did
Right.
my readings this morning. I did my prayers.
Yeah, me
I'm gonna
too.
do my prayers
Yep.
tonight. Guess what? We're
Yep.
traveling tomorrow. Okay. And
Mhm.
well, two things. First of all, I've got all of it on my phone, but I know Mike's got his book.
Yep.
He's going to do his
I
prayers
do.
tomorrow. He's going to do his
Yep.
prayers tomorrow night. He's going to do them in the morning on Sunday before we come back. So am
I am.
I.
Yep.
Um,
We're gonna be in a cheap motel room together doing our readings.
right.
Yeah. Rock and roll.
Well, and here's the other thing, and I set myself a reminder for this part. This will go even one step further because this is now part of my
Mm.
routine. Every night,
Uh-huh.
I go through and I cut a clip that I post on Instagram
Mhm.
every morning.
Right.
Now, tomorrow night,
Yeah.
we're going to be rocking out to, Joan Jett and then the Foo Fighters. I'm not going to be,
Mhm.
running a clip. So I'm going to do two of them tonight. So I'm ready for Sunday morning. So I'm
Nice.
already prepared so I don't have to worry about, because that's important for me to get out to you guys out there that are listening
Mhm.
to us, men, guys
Right.
and ladies. That's part of my
Mhm.
responsibility. But yeah, I mean, all these different things we talk about, and
Yeah.
I don't, again, I give people all the credit in the world that have relapsed and come back, because I
Mhm.
I 100% think and believe in my head. Um, I'm too much of a fucking egotist. If I drink, I'm just gonna get. I'm gonna fuck everyone. It's done.
Right.
Because
That.
I know better. One drink and everything goes away anyhow. So what the fuck do I got to work for? And I know that.
Right.
And I don't
Yeah.
want to look at you. I don't want to look at my sister. I don't want to look at our family, my
Mhm.
friends. I
Right.
can't walk back in and look at all these people, that have helped me and all this shit along the way. My ego won't let
Mhm.
me do it. So you know what?
Right.
I don't think I'm going to drink today.
Yeah.
and if I do the right things tomorrow, I got a goddamn good chance that I'm not going to drink tomorrow either. But fuck it.
Exactly.
It ain't
Yeah.
tomorrow yet.
It ain't tomorrow yet, and like we've said before, man. Yes, we have the thoughts. Of course, they cross our minds. But when I seriously think about getting loaded anymore, it's not even appealing.
Right.
I mean, yes, of course, I'm going to feel good for 20 minutes. God, I know that. I know that's my core. I go shoot some dope, or I fucking go smoke some crack, or I fucking chug a bottle of vodka. Oh God, it's gonna feel good. It's gonna feel so fucking good. And then what? And then it's gonna feel so fucking bad. And I'm too selfish. I don't want to feel that bad anymore.
Right.
I felt that bad for decades. I don't want to. Yeah, I felt real fucking good for decades too. But I don't want that up and down anymore. I like where I'm at today. I like being in the middle. I don't want those highs, and I sure as fuck don't want those lows. So no, thank you.
Right. Well, and
Yeah.
the other thing and I know other people talk about it, usually briefly on other podcasts, but one of the things that Mike and I have been completely fucking honest about is both of us had a lot of fucking fun while we were drinking, and
Oh yeah.
really, really good times with really, really good people. And you think about those good times, but I don't think that everyone, especially if somebody relapses or goes back out or stuff like that, you're only looking at the good times. You're not looking at all that fucking darkness that came afterwards.
Right.
Because you know what? The from 2006 to 2010, I mean, those were some dark fucking years for me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Me too.
2009 to 2010 was fucking terrible, so when I look back at that, the fun was gone. Then what it was, I was years ago, I was having a shit ton of fun and a couple of either
Right.
consequences or issues or things. And then it flipped around. It's like the 80-20 rule. I was having 80% of the time, I had a fucking great time, 20%
Right.
ish. And then it turned around, where maybe I was lucky to get 10 to 20% of the fun and 80% was
Right.
fucking miserable.
Right. Oh, I mean, I remember this reminded me. I was in detox, and we were, we had little groups in detox. I don't remember a lot, but I do remember sitting there and figuring out. I think one of the counselors that came in and talked to us made me think this way. I'm sure I didn't do it on my own. Again, real fuzzy. It was fucking detox, and but I, 24 hours in a day, right? I think the last couple of years of my life, maybe I felt good for about a half an hour,
Right.
and the rest of the time I was either fucking miserable or too fucked up. I was like good for about a half an hour out of 24. So 23 hours a day, I was fucked up, either good or bad, but it wasn't good, 23 and a half hours of my day every day were fucked. And I had about a half hour in there where everything kind of lined up right and I was okay. No, thank you.
Right.
I don't want to go back to that.
No.
Thank you very fucking much, but no fucking thank you.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about a few minutes ago, the enjoying those little moments, those beautiful moments, but we were not talking about that.
No.
That's those beautiful moments that are 30 minutes long out of 24 hours. No, thank you. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. And as you were talking about that, I was thinking about that, whatever it was, the last, few months. I think, Christ. I mean, I hated my job. I was drunk all the time. I was, fighting with whatever. And even when, I got to see Derek and stuff like that, I enjoyed having him there, but I knew I wasn't being deep down. I knew I wasn't being the type of, father I should be, so I know I had that.
And you also weren't being the kind of drunk you wanted to be either.
Right.
So there was, there's none of it's fucking fun.
Like, God damn it! I can't even be a good.
Right.
I can't even be a good.
I can't even be the. I know. I can't be as drunk as I want to be, and I can't be a father I want to be. Fuck.
You think I could at least be a good fucking drunk? I mean, that should take zero effort.
No, but they got the kid there, so you got to back off of that. But you're still not doing it. Oh God, miserable fucking way to live, man.
Right.
No, thank you.
So, I mean, with all of that, hopefully we've kind of driven our point home that relapse not only does not have to be part of recovery, it fucking sucks, so
yeah.
there is literally, we can promise you this. And here's the deal, because I haven't relapsed again yet. We talked about that a second ago.
Right.
But I can tell you right now, it's no fucking fun. And you know how I can tell you that? Because, well, one very easy reason, somebody I love and trust just told me that. And somebody I've known for 13 fucking years just told me that, but he's not the only one, because I might be like, I don't know if he's telling me the truth. Because
I got a few other people to back me up on this one.
Yeah, because we need that. We need
2 million.
We need more people. So I think I've heard it from hundreds, if not maybe thousands of people.
Yep.
I've seen it. I've seen it on their faces. I've watched the loss. I've watched the funerals. I've been to all the shit, So,
I read it in a book somewhere. It keeps getting fucking worse.
Right. Well, and what they told us to begin with, if you want to do the research, that's fine. But the research has already been done. It's already been done. It's no good.
Just the science, man.
It's no bueno.
No.
See.
to expense of my Spanish. No.
Mike knows the one fucking Spanish word that's actually English. No.
Right. I know a couple other ones too. Cerveza, Mota. Yeah, but anyway.
You spend enough time in Mexico to know a couple of things. So.
I know a couple of things.
All right. Well, you know what? I know the one thing's for sure is that we've been talking too fucking long. I think we're getting just rambly here. So what do you think? What do you think we wrap this motherfucker up?
Yeah, because we got to get some sleep because we're going to be fucking rocking and rolling and partying with the bikers tomorrow.
Right. And I still got 2 hours of work ahead of me. So
yeah,
just fucking around. So go ahead.
Cool.
Your turn.
All right, then. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of Sober Not Mature. As always, be kind to each other, be good to each other. Hey, you happen to be in Milwaukee tomorrow? Come up and say hi to the guys. You know what we look like? Our picture's right fucking there. And it is now that time. It is time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off till you get to a gate with a sign on it saying, you cannot fuck off past here. Climb over that gate. Dream the impossible dream and keep fucking off forever. Don't forget to fight your foo.
It's like I don't even know what that sounded like. Don't forget to fight your foo.
That was just for you, Bill.
That's awesome. Well, you know what? I was kind of laughing too. Yeah, come up and say hi. You know what we look like. The pictures are right there. Wouldn't that be just awesome?
Right there, kids.
If somebody actually walked up to us and they're looking at their phone, looking at us, looking at their phone, looking at us.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? I'll be wearing a T-shirt right on the back says 666. I've got the Foo Fighters Studio 666 T-shirt. So, yeah. And
I'll be wearing my rock and roll colors with a big ass Motorhead patch on the back. So there you go.
All right. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, this has been it's been something.
It has. It's definitely been something. Thank you for being a part of it, kids.
Wasn't that something?
That is something.
All right. Fuck it. I love you. Bye.
I love you too. See you in about a minute.
Bye. As always, thank you for listening to another episode of Sober Not Mature. To access all of our content and interact with us, please visit our website, SoberNotMature.com. Thank you again for listening, and we will talk to you soon.